Can anyone please confirm? Okay, okay, fine. Thank you. Okay, so this is the third class. In the last class, we discussed regarding data types, typecasting, and concatenation. So let's go to the Google Colab here. I will open this website. Okay, so this is the file which we used in last classes. So I will use the same one. Sorry. Okay, so Google Colab notebook is open and I will connect from here from the top right. Okay, so we will have a quick recap of the last class what we studied. So we started from data types. So let's go to the data types first. So we can have a review or recap for this. Okay, so we started from here. So we discussed that we have actually lots of data types in Python, but we mentioned only four which are necessary for now. So the first one was integer, and we said that integer is any number without decimal. Then we discussed float, and we said a number with decimal or a decimal number is called a float. Then we said string. So we said whatever is enclosed in single or double quote, whatever it is, either it is integer, it is float, it is any symbol, any letter or word, we call it string if it is enclosed in single or double quote. So this was the third data type, and the fourth one was boolean, which we said are they are actually two, true and false. And sometimes or in uh, most cases we usually represent true with 1 and false with 0. Then we discussed the method type. So what it does, whichever data I provide inside the brackets, so it actually tells the type or data type. So we discussed this function in detail in the last class as well. Then we took a few examples of creating integer data type, float data type, boolean data type, and string data type. So this was all about data type which we discussed in the last class. Okay, so we also discussed this input function. Input function, what it does, I think its name suggests that it will take the input from the user. So input function takes the input from the user. So let me show this thing once again, because this is very important function for tomorrow's class. So we will be doing the project inshallah tomorrow. So let's understand this function one more time. So if I write input, so I will write any message here, like I ask please enter enter a number, for example. So the thing I want to show you, okay, I have written only this input function, and what I wrote here, I wrote something, please enter a number. So what will user understand from this if I execute the cell? So for executing the cell, we can use this circle. Okay, so we have a text box here. So for example, I write 76. Fine. So if we recall that 76 is an integer data type, since it does not have any point, it does not have a decimal. So according to Python or according to programming, we call this number integer. Fine. So I am entering 76, which is integer, but as soon as I press enter, so we see it is showing 76, but it is enclosed in single quote. And what we said, whatever is enclosed in single or double quote, we call it, or Python considers it, a string. Fine. So this is the default behavior of input function. So whichever number, either it is integer or it is float or it is anything, whichever we are entering or we are giving to Python with the help of this input function, it will become a string. Fine. So this is something which I want to revise here. So what we did, this was the string number. So if I take input from here, if I take only this statement from here till here, so this statement will ask the user to enter a number. But the problem is that this number will become a string. So in order to perform any calculation on the number we are entering or we are giving to Python, we have to typecast. We have to convert the type of the number or type of the data. So what we did, we used integer function here. We used integer function here, what which will do or which will actually convert the string into integer. Fine. So this is how we typecasted or we converted the string data type to integer. So finally my num1 is of integer data type. My num1, which is my variable, is of integer data type now. And similarly I did the same with num2, so that I can perform or I can do the calculation things with num1 and num2. So this is something which we discussed in the last class. Then what we did, we came here at the bottom at this cell, and we actually called this num1. So num1, num1, my variable actually contains whichever number user has entered in the integer data form. Fine. So for example, okay, let me run this number again, this cell again. So it asks me please enter a number. So let's enter 5 and then 10. Now num1 stores 5 and num2 stores 10. Initially I shown to you people that it was a string, but since I have used integer function, so this string will be converted to integer. So now if I write num1 plus num2, so actually num1 contains 5, num1 contains 5 and num2 contains 10. Fine. Or num1 contains 5 or num2 contains 10. So if I perform addition on these two variables, so actually what will happen initially, if I didn't convert it, okay, let's forget this line, don't get confused with this one, I'm removing it. So what will happen, num1 will call 5 because it stores 5, then we are adding, and then num2 value is 10. Can you please mute your mic? Okay, thank you. So what I was saying, that num1 contains or num1 stores 5, here I entered the value 5, and num2 stores 10. So what I'm doing, I'm actually calling the variable's name. Fine, I'm calling the variable's name. So what will happen, they will actually call the values which were stored in them. So that's how 5 and 10 will be summed and added, and it will be stored into this sum variable. And finally if I print sum, so it will give me 15. So if I execute it, I am getting 15. So this was something which we discussed in very detail in the last class. So this was a quick recap. Now the agenda for today's class is, we will be discussing two main important topics. The first one is operators and the second one is conditional statements. So if we successfully understand these two topics, then we will be finally able to develop a BMI calculator, which we will be doing inshallah in tomorrow's class. So you guys have to understand these two topics. Okay, so the first topic is operators. Okay, so what are operators? In Python, we actually call operators to like symbols we have, like plus, minus, asterisk sign which we use for multiplication, and this forward slash which we use for division purpose, and then we have less than symbol, less than equals to we write like this, then greater than, then greater than equals to, and then double equals to for comparing the two data types are same or not, and then we have not equals to. And other than this we have lots of others operators which we can explore from Google or from other sources. And one more important operator is double asterisk. So let's understand what they do. Okay, so we are already familiar with this plus, minus, addition, subtraction, multiplication and division symbols. So we will be understanding less than, less than equals to, greater than, greater than or equals to, equals to. So for example, I tell Python that 5 is less than 7. I have written a simple statement and I am telling Python that 5, and what do we say this symbol? It is less than. So I am telling Python that 5 is less than 7. So this statement is true. So Python will also tell me or will also give me true, right? It Python whenever we use the operators, so Python actually gives the answer or answers us with boolean values. So if I execute the cell, we will see that Python will tell me yes, you are true. Fine. That I have said the true statement that 5 is less than 7. Okay, fine. Then let's say if I say, if I write 5 is less than or equals to 8, correct? But I have written 5, if 5 is less than, this symbol is for less than and this symbol is for equals to. So we call it with or, means either 5 is less than 8 or 5 is equals to 8. So one of these statements is true and one of them is false. Understand this thing again. Okay, look, what does this mean? 5 is less than 8 or 5 is equal to 8. So what is happening? Only writing these two symbols, less than or equals to, Python will translate all these scenarios which I have written here. 5 is less than 8 or 5 is equals to 8. So the first statement is true, 5 is less than 8, this is correct one, right? So Python will return true value, is that correct? Python will return or Python will answer true. It will ignore this one. Python will ignore this statement. Okay, let me execute this one. So it is giving me true. It is giving me true. Why? Because one of these two conditions is actually correct, which is the first one. The first condition is actually correct. So that's why Python is giving me true. Is this clear? Okay, fine. So this is how we use 5 is less than or equals to 8, or we can say that we have used less than or equals to concept. Okay, let me comment this one and come here at the bottom, and let's say I say 8 is less than equals to 8 is less than or equals to 8. So now what is happening, that my first statement is wrong, which is 8 is less than 8. 8 is not actually less than 8. 8 is equals to 8, correct? So But again, Python will translate this less than equals to like this. 8 is less than 8, or 8 is equal to 8. So right now this second condition is correct. So Python will return true because of this second condition, and it will ignore the first one. Correct? So if I execute the cell, I will again see true. So I think this is clear to you people, that how we can use less than or equals to. Now let's move to greater than. So let me comment all these lines, and uh, now I use greater than. So for example, I say 11 is greater than, for example, 13. Just let me write the wrong statement. I am saying, or I am telling Python that 11 is greater than 13, which is actually incorrect. 11 is smaller than 13, but I am telling Python that 11 is greater than 13. So what will Python return? Python will give me false, that my statement is false, or the condition I have written is actually false. So let's execute this one and see, it is giving false. Why? Because Python is translating it how, that 11 is greater than 13, which is incorrect. Yes, if I have written like this, 11 is greater than, for example, 10, 9, 8, or any number, so now it will give me true. Fine. So I think these symbols are very easy to use and understand. If you have any confusion, you can text me and I will answer. Okay, now let's discuss this one, greater than or equals to. So again, I can write a number, for example, 90, and let's say greater than equals to, for example, let's say 81. So now my first condition will be true again. How? Let's write it this way. 90 90 is greater than 81, or the second condition is what? 90 is equal to 81. So here what we have, the first condition is 90 is greater than 81, which is correct. So Python, because of this statement, will give me true, and Python will ignore this one, 90 is equal to 81. And this is happening because of this or. This is happening by Python is not treating one condition and only considering the second condition, or vice versa. It is because of this condition, or means the or that one of the conditions should be true, or whichever conditions we are giving to Python, only one condition if found to be true, so Python will give me true, or Python will give return will return true. Correct? So this is happening because of this or operator. Or is also an operator. So that's how we can use greater than or equals to. So is there any confusion? Please text if you have any confusion. Okay, fine. So now let's move double equals to. Okay, so the question arises here, double equals to, why do we use double equals to? If you guys remember that how we saved the value in variables, so we use their simple single equals to. Like if I say name, this is my variable actually, and I will use only single variable, and let's call it Muhammad. For example, this is the name, and I am storing this Muhammad into this name variable with the help of equal sign. Correct? So we use single equals to for assigning or for storing the value into a variable. So this is very simple. And when we are using double equals to, so double equals to is actually used for comparing the things. Like I say 7 equals to, let's call let's call it 7 equals to double equals to 8. So now I am telling Python what is happening. I am actually telling Python that 7 is equals to 8. Right now I am not assigning or I am not storing 8 into 7, and this is not possible. I cannot do that. We discussed this thing in detail, that what are the rules for variables in the first class. So with the with double equal sign, we are actually uh, comparing the left and right numbers. So I am actually telling Python that 7 equals to 8, which is wrong. This is not correct. So Python will return false now. Look, if I execute the cell, Python is returning false. Why? Because 7 is actually not equals to 8. Fine. So double equals to is used for comparing the numbers. Okay, let's take for example one more example. Let's call 87 double equals to, okay, let's say 87 for example. So now if I execute, it will give me true because they are actually equals. So in conclusion, why do we use double equals to? We use it for comparing the left and right values. Correct? Okay. Now we have one more operator, not equals to. So not equals to is opposite to double equals to. Like if I say 6 is not equals to, I use this symbol to 6. But I have written 6, and what do we, how do we call this symbol? Not equals to. So I am saying that this 6 not equals to this 6, and my statement is false and my statement is incorrect. So Python will also give me false. Look, if I execute it, it is giving me false. Why? Because 6 is equals to 6. 6 actually equals to 6. So I have written the wrong statement, that's why I am getting not I am getting false, right? So I think this is also clear to you. Okay, so double asterisk. This is the last operator we will discuss today. Double asterisk. So what is the purpose of double asterisk? Look, for example, we have studied in mathematics. Like if I want to raise power of 6, like I want to raise power 2 to 6. So how I can do that? I will use double asterisk and I will write 2. So I actually want to raise power 2 to this 6, correct? So if I run now, it will give me the answer 36. So double asterisk is actually used for raising the power. So let's do one more example quickly. Like if I say 4 raised to the power 3, I actually want to raise power 4 over 3. So what I will do, I will write 3 double asterisk and 4. So this will give me the value which is 81. So these are the operators, basic operators actually, which we usually use in our daily life in Python. So if you people have any confusion in these operators or any question, please you can ask, otherwise I will start conditional statement topic. Yes, please. Any question? Yeah, you can text if you have any question. Okay, so let's move to the next topic, conditional statement. Okay, so if you have understood this thing correctly, like these operators, so this will definitely help you to write the conditional statements. Okay, so we actually have three conditional statements. The first one is if, the second is elif, and the third one is else. So these are three conditional statements. So let's discuss the first one. because it's the simplest one. So for example, I have a condition. For example, I uh, I ask you that what is your age. So you say, for example, your age is 15. Fine. So firstly, I asked you your age and you told me 15. So what I will do, I will check that whether the age or whether the candidate said age or anyone's age is greater than or equals to 18. Fine. What the condition I am telling you, that I will check the age first, whether the age is greater than or equals to 18. So if the condition is true, then I will write a message or I will print a message that for example you can vote, or for example you can drive, or anything else. So this is a simplest scenario. So let's say right now I am storing a value in age, let's say 12. So what I did, I actually stored this 12 into this age variable. So now I want to check I want to check this age with the help of conditional statement. So what is the syntax? How I can write it? I will write first if, I will write if, and then I will write age here. So do you people remember? I just discussed this thing in the beginning of the class, that I have actually taken the input from user with the help of this statement and converted it into integer. So what happened after typecasting to integer, typecasting the input to integer, I have saved the value into num1, similarly num2. So I have saved the user input into num1 and num2. Then what I did, I actually called the variable num1 and num2. And what I told you, that when I wrote num1, so actually I am just writing num1, but Python will take the stored value in num1, correct? So that it was 5 and num2 stored value was 10. So what Python did, Python added them, Python added them. So the point, what's the point of telling you here, that whenever I call a variable, so actually Python when read that variable, so Python will go in the go to the above lines of code and check what is the stored value, and will find the stored value and bring it. So if I'm writing age here, so what is actually happening, I'm just writing age, but when Python will read this age, so it actually does not read age, it will actually read this 12 value, correct? Is this clear? Okay, so I want to check whether this age is greater than or equals to, correct? So look, we just discussed this thing, we write greater than or equals to like this. So I have written the same symbol here, greater than or equals to, and what I said, I want to compare or I want to check this age whether it is greater than or equals to 18 or not, and then I will put a colon. So again what I did, I just wrote if, which is my conditional statement, because I want to check some condition, so that's why I have written if. Then I actually wrote the variable which contains this 12 number, and then I actually want to, what I want to check, what I wanted to check, that whether age is greater than or equals to 18. So I have written greater than or equals to 18 with these symbols, and I have written the number through which I want to check the variable age, and then I have put a colon, correct? So this is the simple syntax for writing if statement. Now look what will happen, age is actually 12. Okay, let me go to the next line, and this age is actually 12, correct? What is actually happening behind the scene, so Python will when Python will call, or when Python will read this age, so it will actually call its value which is 12. So 12 will be here like this, then it will read greater than or equals to 18, correct? Sorry, this is equals to, okay. So Python will read it, 12 is greater than or equals to 18, which is what, Correct or wrong? This is wrong. 12 is greater than or equals to 18. No, it is not. It is smaller than. So this statement will be, this complete statement or condition, this complete condition will be false. This complete condition will be false. Correct? So just imagine if it was correct. If it was correct, okay, let me store for example 20 here, just for now, to give you the concept. So I have written 20 now. So now what will happen? I will write 20, or Python will call it 20 and compares it with this 18 number. So now the condition is correct. So what what Python will do when it finds the correct condition, it does something. So we are writing print statement, and we will give a text message, you can vote, or we can write any message, right? So statement this print statement or function will only work if this condition is true. Correct? If it is false, if this condition is false, this print statement is not going to work. This will not work. Correct? So just execute the cell. So right now I have 20 age and the condition is true. So if I execute the cell, Python will give me, or will show the message, yes, you can vote or anyone can vote. Correct? Okay. So if this condition was false, for example, let me write it 12 or 11. Okay, 12. So now the condition is false. So Python now is not going to print this message. Python will not print this message. Okay, let me execute the cell. So we can see that nothing is printed. Nothing is shown on the screen. Why? Because 12 is not greater than or equals to 18. The condition became false, and when the condition is false, Python is not going to read this line. Python is not going to execute this line. Okay, then what? If Python is not going to print this line, so what do we do for printing the message? Correct? What I am telling, if the condition is false, if this condition is false, so Python will skip this line. Python will not read this line. But this is not the solution. We want something to print. So what do? We actually cater this situation with the help of else statement. So let me write else. So I will write only else for now. I have skipped elif for purpose right now. I will tell you in just a few moments. So I am just telling you that if this condition is false, if this condition is false, Python is not going to print, or Python is not going to execute this line. So how I will cater this situation? I will put else here, and I will directly put colon now. So this remember this thing, that we do not write any condition with else. Whenever we are writing else, we do not use, or we do not write any condition with else. We just write else, put colon, and print enter, and we can write any message here, like I will write, sorry, you are under 18 and you cannot vote. For example, this is my message. So now what will happen if this condition becomes false? If this condition becomes false, so we understood that Python is not going to execute this line. So what is the solution? Python will read this line, then this else line, and then it will come here and execute this code. Okay, let me run it and see. We will be having the message of else statement printed. Correct? So in conclusion, if I say uh, we actually use if and else only when we have two conditions. Understand this thing. What I said, I just wanted to check the age. If it is greater than or equals to 18, I will print a message like you can drive, you can vote, or for example you can do anything, whatever we are showing the text. So we can write anything. But if the condition is false, if the condition becomes false, so in that condition we also want to do something, we also want to show something. So we only use if and else statements in this scenario. But I said if we have two conditions, there can be any condition. For example, let's say if if the student is mm for example, if the student can pay high fees, so it can go to good universities, and if he cannot pay a good amount of fee, then we will cater that situation in else statement. So just please text if this is clear, or if it needs further explanation, so please let me know in the text, in the message, so I can bring one more example. Otherwise we will understand elif statement now. Please do message if you have any confusion or it is clear to you. Okay, correct. Okay, fine. So I will give you one example after completing this class, so that you can you can have good grip on this conditional statement, and it will be interesting to you people as well. Okay, let's discuss elif statement now. Okay, so for example, let's make an imaginary scenario. For example, there's a guy, for example, or there are some people, just understand this thing. There are some people, and they have different ages. So we actually ask them about their ages and then decide what to print. So for example, let's say I say that if age is greater than or equals to, let's say, 12, so we will allow them to uh, for example, okay, for example, we will charge them 1000 rupees for like we have party or something like that. So if the age is greater than or equals to 12, so we will charge them charges will be, for example, 200 USD. Correct? Okay, one more condition. If the age is greater than or equals to, let's say, 20, so we will charge them, for example, let's say 300. And we have one more condition, like if age is greater than or equals to, let's say, 35, so charges will be 360. And just two more conditions I will write, like if age is greater than or equals to let's say 42, so we will charge them how many rupees, let's say 410. Correct? Okay, so let's say for example, there are some people and they want entry ticket for any park or for any amusement place. So we will ask them about their ages, and then we will decide what to charge from them. So this is just an idea for this. Okay, so now what we will do, we will okay, we have two options actually. Either we can hard code the age, we can hard code the age, like we can directly store some particular value, a particular value in the age variable. Correct? And then we can write the further program. Or else we can also use the input statement. We can use the input statement like this, typecast it into integer, and then to the conditional statement thing. So right now, uh, for making it simple, I am directly assigning the age, let's say 32, correct? Okay, now I will start from the if. Okay, so understand this thing, remember this thing, whenever we are writing conditional statement, we always start from if. We always start from if. We cannot directly use else statement, we cannot directly use elif statement. Conditional statements always start from if. So that's why I write if, and then I will write simple age is greater than equals to, so what was the age? 12. So I have to compare the age with these numbers like 12, 20, 35, 42. So that's why I am writing 12 here, and I will put colon, and then I will print a message, print you have to give this much amount for the ticket, for example, correct? So now what will happen? Age will be compared, Python will check the condition, if it is true, so it will show this message, correct? But what if it is incorrect? What if the condition is false? What will happen if the condition is false? Okay, look, right now I do not have two conditions. Like I said earlier, I have more than two conditions. We have actually four conditions here, correct? So whenever we have more than two conditions, we use elif statement. We use elif statement. So what we do, we write the first statement with the help of if, and the remaining conditions with the help of elif, and the last condition with else. So let me write, I want to write this condition now. So what I will do, I will write this condition with the help of elif statement. So I just have to write elif. Just this is uh, a different thing. Other than that, we will be writing exactly the same thing. Like I will write age because I want to compare the age of course, greater than or equals to, and what was the number? 20. So I will write 20 now. So I have written 20. I will put colon, and then again I will press enter, and I will write the print statement. Okay, let me copy it from here, and I will just change the amount. So let's say this is not 200, now it is 300, correct? So look what I did, I just changed if to elif. This is the only thing I changed here, correct? This is the only thing I changed. So other than that, I have written the condition as it is. I have written with the help of if statement, correct? So here Python will also compare or will also check the condition that whether the age is greater than or equals to 32. If it is, if this condition is true, then it will come to the next line and it will print this message. It will print this message. Okay, look, now I have one more condition, and this is not my last condition. This is not my last condition. What I said, I will use else only with my last condition. If we have more than two conditions, and it can be any scenario. So if we have more than two conditions, so the first condition will be catered with the help of if statement, and the last condition will be catered with the help of else statement, and the remaining center conditions will be handled with elif statement. So I can use elif statement one more time, and I will write the same thing again. Age is greater than or equals to, let's say 35, because we have the criteria for 35. So I have written 35, and I will put colon, and I will write parent, and let me copy it again. You have to give 360, correct? So I have written the these two conditions with the help of elif. So what do you people notice? Look, we I actually used if only once, and I will also be using else only once. But for elif, we can use elif several times. If you have, for example, more than 100 conditions, so we will be using if condition for the first condition, if for the first condition, and else for the last condition, and the remaining for the remaining between conditions we will be using several elif statements. So we can use several elif statements, there is no restriction. But remember, whenever we are using if and elif statements, so we must have to write the condition check. We must have to write, or we must have to check the condition. But for else statement, what I said, I will just write else and put colon and then print my message whatever I want to write. So I will just change this value for 110, and now our conditional statement program is ready. Okay, so let's say my age value is 32, correct? So when Python will start executing the code, so it will find this condition false, correct? So it will not read this line, it will not execute this line. Okay, then it will come here and will check this condition, whether the age is whether the age 32 is greater than or equals to 20. Yes, it is. So now it will print this statement. Okay, let me execute it. Okay, so right now so this is I, I and it is coming in the if condition. 32 is greater than or equals to 12. This condition is becoming, I said that it is false. No, it is not false. True, right? So that's why it is printing 100. So the question is, then Python will print the remaining statements, right? Yes. So what to do? We also have to print the condition, right? And age is less or less than 32. I have to next condition. I have to write the next condition, the if conditions. So statement directly. Similarly, I will add age is there, and what is my next condition is 35. Similarly, I will write and I will also check whether the age is less than 42. Right now, the actual range which Python will check response accordingly. I do it now. Finally, we can see that it is printing 300. Why? Because we have defined a range that whether the age is greater than or equals to 12 and the age is small 20, right? So the age lies in range. Then print this message. Otherwise, it will skip this line. We have defined this condition here and it will print this line. So hopefully this is clear to you people. And in tomorrow's class, we will write the code, or we will write a simple program for generating BMI calculator. So I think if you have understood clearly, so generating BMI calculator will be very easy, because these are the topics will help you definitely in the next class. Okay, as a practice, what I said that I will give you the practice. So as a practice, what you can, for example, just create a marks, and let's say the marks is uh, just store value in marks variable, let's say 56, And now I give you the criteria. Now you people have to write a program, and what that program will do, it will actually check the condition, and after the condition, what it will do, it decide what is your grade. So let's say if I say if it is, for example, 49 to 50, 59, sorry. So just show the grade, like you can say grade or whatever you want to do. You can actually have your own grading criteria as well. I'm just in condition, and let's say if marks is greater than, for example, 60. Okay, let's just make it greater than here, greater than 49. So if it is greater than 60, then just give the grade to, for example, C. And if marks is greater than, for example, 70, just tell the student that they scored the security, and so, right. So this is the exercise which you people can do to have more clear idea about the conditional statement. So if there is any question, we can have it right now. Otherwise, in the class, and we will be continuing the class on the same tomorrow. So it will be at m tomorrow, inshallah. Yes, please. Is there any question? Okay, fine. So I hope that there is no question. Okay, so if you people have question or confusion, you can text me on WhatsApp, and we will be having the class tomorrow, and we will generate a BMI calculator. So don't miss the tomorrow's class because it will be the final class. So see you tomorrow, inshallah. Have a nice day. Thank you for joining.